I was stupefied. I was awestruck sitting there going, oh my God, I got bamboozled. I drove an hour out here for a scam. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, or to it if this is the first time you are seeing my face. Thank you for clicking on it. My name is JC and I'm starting a new series called In Hindsight Story Times. So I do story times on my channel, but there are a lot of stories that I haven't told that range from like the crazy and insane to like the more tame and mundane. But I haven't told them for one reason or another, and I want to tell them now because I have a different perspective. So if you didn't know, I spent 10 weeks in a trauma therapy treatment program. I learned I had OSDD, which is basically like a dissociation disorder, as well as having like multiple personality sort of things. So I've learned a lot over the past couple of years, and I can now look at these stories with a fresh new perspective. So that's what this series is going to be about. But today's story is going to be about the time I got bamboozled and attended a fake influencer event, and it was a scam. So it's probably more on the tame and mundane side, but it's also a word of warning out there to you guys of be careful for these boss babe influencer events that try to get you, because this one was pretty crazy. So with that being said, let's just hop right into this story time. All right, so this story takes place about 5 years ago when I had just moved to LA and I had moved into my first apartment. I was living alone for the first time, and this was also kind of me starting to step away from my regular job. So this was during COVID, where my work, so I was a marketing manager for a community college, and my job went completely remote. My whole team, my whole job just became like Zoom meetings and emails, and I was starting to get like a little unhappy there of like, I don't want to waste my life away behind a computer. I have a dazzling personality. I can't waste it in a Zoom call every day. But during this time, I had started dabbling into the influencer world. I had started a YouTube channel and I started posting videos that were doing okay. I had just started posting on TikTok, and I was really having fun with Instagram at this point. Like, I was having so much fun doing photo shoots where I would like go and buy props and I'd find like new backdrops. I would have days, like full-on content days, where I'd bring like 5 outfit changes, drive around LA, find cool like backdrops and painted walls of wings and whatnot, and I would just post Instagram photos. I loved that era. Honestly, I had a great time. No shame in doing that. And it was around this time that my first video went viral on TikTok, where I posted one silly little video and I gained about 50,000 followers from that one video. I'll put it here in case you haven't seen it.
Tell me you have a white mom without telling me you have a white mom.
I'm mixed, half black, half white, and I have very, very curly hair. It's not done now, but here's a photo of me where I look much better. But growing up, my mom just had no idea what to do with my hair, and so here are a few of my school photos to show you. So the first hairstyle that we have is putting my hair into pigtails and then adding smaller braids because my hair was just too thick to just have a normal pigtail style. The next one would be putting my hair up in a bun and doing one of these weird like hair pieces because my hair was just too hard to control that I had to use fake hair. But the best one of all, guys, I have curly hair. It's not meant to be straightened, and she let me go to school picture day looking like a rectangle. So, Mom, you tried your best. You tried your best.
So like I said, I gained a massive amount of followers pretty quickly, and then I started to get like, some momentum on Instagram. And so that's when I'm saying like, wait, like I could make money from this. I enjoy doing this. Okay, this might be a new career path. And so I started stepping away from my traditional job. Big mistake there. I wish I had that salary back. And then one day, I think it was like an Instagram DM where somebody was like, hey, we want to offer you like free microblading. Like you just have pretty eyes and like would be a good model. Do you want this free microblading? And I was like, heck yeah, I love saving a buck. I actually did a whole vlog on this, but I drove all the way out to Arizona for free microblading.
So my eyebrows don't start as close as they should. So I'm told that in 2 weeks, this dark color will fade to more of the natural color we were looking for. I'm excited to not have to do my brows.
And I remember asking the girl who was doing it, I was like, why'd you ask me? Like, how'd you even find me? She goes, oh, I found you on Instagram through your hashtags. Like, I looked up the hashtag influencer and green eyes, and you were the first one that popped up. And I was like, oh, perfect. So it's like, oh, there really is something in those hashtags. Like, people really do find you through that. I'm going to utilize that a little bit more. So I start posting regularly, and I start using like microinfluencer, like hashtags that show like, hey, book me, sponsor me, like send me free PR, I will post it. Like, that's what I'm going for here. Like, I was hustling in that world. And so that was when, I'm pretty sure from all of that effort was why I got the following email. So I was hustling, you guys, like I was trying to put in the work, and it started paying off because I got invited to my first ever influencer event. So I get this email saying like, hey, we're having like this influencer event. There's going to be a lot of like samples. It's going to be good networking. It's going to be a lot of like girl power for social media. You should come. But I go to this event, and it was pretty fun. You know, it was just like a lot of women. We were all dressed up, and the event just had like a lot of fun backdrops to go and take photos of, a lot of interactive areas. So I remember I like made this lei, which was really pretty, and they had like giveaways, and I think I won a makeup palette. So you kind of get funneled in, and I was a little overwhelmed at first, like, where do I begin? So I was like, well, I'm not gonna start with the first booth that you go to. I'm gonna go towards the end to where there's a little bit more space. So like the first kind of companies I try are women-run cocktail businesses where they're advertising some of their new alcohol brands. So right away I get a cocktail with a little umbrella straw and a koozie that I get to walk around in and sip. And so I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a good time. And then you just kind of visit all of the various booths. So the booths range from different types of bath bombs and bath salt companies. There was a swimsuit company that was having a sale. There was an esthetician who was letting people spin the wheel to give free brow laminations or eyelash tints. There was Cycle Bar, which was giving out free classes to their cycling gym. Just kind of various health and wellness companies, which was so fun. And I actually had a really good time at that event. I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, like, okay, like I'm making it. Like I could do this. This is so much fun. Like I love free things, you guys. Free is my favorite number. But needless to say, I'd been to one of these events and I was like, hey, everybody, sign me up for more. I could go to one of these every single weekend. So I just started using whatever hashtags it took to be an influencer in LA, put my name out there that, hey, I want to do this. And so that's when I got another email. So I get an email one day about this influencer gifting suite, and it was supposed to be like this huge influencer marketing event. And the email looked legit in the sense of, oh, it was just like that last event that I went to where they're gonna have really beautiful backdrops for photography, and there's gonna be interactive exhibits, and you're gonna get a whole bunch of free stuff, but it was a gifting suite. So you're gonna get to try all these different products, like all for free, and they're gonna feed you and give you alcohol. But most importantly, it was about, you know, the influencer marketing and networking, where you're gonna meet like-minded people, you're really gonna connect, grow your own audience through that, but also just like feel at home being with other people who like taking photos of themselves. Now I will say that was the part that I didn't like doing. I don't like the networking part. I don't like the, oh, follow me, what do you post? Oh, cool, I'll follow you back type of thing. Like, I don't know. I know it's a part of the economy for influencers, but that's my least favorite part. I just want to get my free stuff and go. But I was like, you know what? Like, if it's women helping out each other in the influencer world, like, it couldn't hurt. And again, a gifting suite. Somebody is speaking my language. RSVP is what I said to the email. So it's so funny. I remember I got super dressed up because it was going to be in Orange County. Like, again, the photo backdrops they were showing looked really nice. And I was like, I'm going to get some content while I'm there. So remember I packed like 2 outfit changes. And by outfit changes, like, you know, like a jacket I can change on and off, or like a hair tie so I could change my hair. And I also brought this, I do this at so many events. I do this way too often. It's so embarrassing. But I bring an extra little bag that I fold up with, like a little tote bag, a little canvas bag, and I ball it up and I put it in my backpack. So that way I can collect a whole extra bag's worth of free stuff when I leave. Like if I'm going, I'm leaving there with something. Everything if I can help it. And so in my bag, I have my outfit changes, I have my tripod, I have my clicker, like I think I brought like an extra little light, I have my extra bag ready to go, like I was prepared. I was like, we're gonna make a day of this, we're gonna get some content, we're gonna meet some other influencers, and we're gonna have a good time. So I make the like hour drive out to Orange County, and I show up and it's like at a hotel, and I was like, oh, okay, like more of a convention center vibes as opposed to like, I don't know, outdoorsy event space like the last activity for influencers that I had gone to. So I walk into the hotel and I find like whatever conference room we go in, and I'm walking towards like in the hallway, and I see a step and repeat. And again, that's just a marketing term for a backdrop, basically just like the photo backdrop. But it's not like the pretty fun ones that they sent us in the email where there's like, you know, balloon animals and there's like a balloon arch and it's a cascading fun LA scene. It was just like a standard step and repeat with a bunch of like name brands on it that I'd never heard of. And I was like, oh, I hope there's more inside because that's kind of lame. And I'm also not ready to take my photo right away in this hallway of a hotel. Like, let's see what else is going on inside. Oh my Lanta, the lighting's about to change a whole bunch. Please ignore it. It's that weird time of day. But I'd also like to know, I arrived early. I like getting there super early. So I have a system when I go to these events now. I arrived super early. I look at the docket of all of the activities and the giveaways that they have. And I always go to the biggest ticket item first. Because if you show up later in the day, there's going to be a 1 to 2 hour long wait. So like at that first influencer event, the big ticket item, they were doing like birth chart readings, but I couldn't even get a spot because I signed up too late. And the big giveaways, they were giving like full size products of Physicians Formula makeup, and I was too late to get that. So I'd learned like, I need to get there early, get all the big ticket items, like scope it out, and then I can enjoy myself. So I walk up to the check-in desk and I check in. The lady hands me a name tag with my name on it. What a concept. And she lets me know like, okay, well, like you're kind of early, but for the first hour, it's the social hour. So go ahead and network, like meet some other boss babes and like hang out. And I was like, oh, like, okay, like networking, what do you mean by that? Let me see. So I peek my head in and it's just the conference room. It's just the conference room at a hotel. And there were some tables set up, you know, some like booths sort of thing. But right away, I'm looking at the scope of the event and I was like, this is the big, cool, fancy influencer marketing event? Like, I don't know about this, you guys. I can tolerate whimsy to an extent, but I also have my limits because this was not whimsical enough. So I'm like, all right, well, let me like make the rounds. Like, let me see what there is. Let me take a look at what free items I can get. So I start like walking the booths and they don't have anything set up on the tables, like nothing to hand out or give me for free. And somebody comes around, you know, they hand me like a juice. And I was like, not even like a mimosa. You couldn't even spring for a little champagne in here. Nah, just orange juice. But you know, it's noon, so I guess that's fine. But I immediately get so uncomfortable because I was like, I don't want to network. I don't want to sit here and talk to people and have to pitch my own Instagram to people. Like, I think I just like the giveaway part more than the actually networking part. So I went back out to the table and I was like, hey, what happens after like the social hour? And then she said, oh, that's where like the talks begin and like the presentation of the marketing. And I was like, what? Like, what is this? What's going on here? And she said like, yeah, our speaker for the day, like she's this Instagram influencer who has like over 1 million followers and she's just going to share like her tips and how she became successful. And then they're going to give out all of the product giveaways. And I was like, ugh. So the giveaways are coming. All right, well, I'll be back. So I left. I actually went out and I sat in my car for 25 minutes because I was like, I don't want to do all that. You know, I'd rather just sit here and watch TikToks for the next 25 minutes until, you know, the actual speeches begin or whatever. But I drove an hour out here. Let me just see what they have to say. So by the time I had gone back, they had set up like rows of chairs and I was relieved. I was like, oh, cool, I get to sit down for these speeches. Nice. And then the TED Talk begins, the big speech from the big influencer. And she comes out and she shares, you know, how many followers she has and how successful she has and how much money she makes. But I noticed right away some red flags, not only in her language, but in what I'm noticing now that I'm sitting in the room and have a moment to process everything. Because she starts using that boss babe terminology. You guys know the one? So according to Urban Dictionary, a boss babe is a woman who pretends to be a business owner, an entrepreneur, or a saleswoman. They are that annoying lady who never stops posting on Facebook about a great new opportunity related to an MLM business, which is basically a pyramid scheme. They tend to hawk poor products for exuberant prices, and posts typically contain excessive emojis, hashtags, and has faux friendliness to it. So they have kind of become known as the girls who slide into your Instagram DMs, be like, hey girl, I have this great new opportunity for you. Are you looking to work from home and make bank with your own flexible schedule? I have the company for you, and you get to be your own boss. So I'm peeking around at all the little easy ups and the little booths set up, and I was like, you know, I haven't heard of any of these any of these companies. You know, at the last event that I went to, you know, I had heard of the soda brand and I had heard of Physicians Formula and their makeup brands. I'm looking at skincare and hair care and makeup that I've never even heard of. What's going on here? And that's when this lady's speech just completely spiraled, you guessed it, into an MLM pitch to us influencers. Essentially, this whole thing was just a multi-level marketing recruitment scam. They went off about how you influencers can tap into your audience for unlimited wealth. You already know the strategies of how to gain an audience and how to get eyes on your content. Imagine harnessing that power and making money off of it. All you have to do is sell this shitty hair care line that nobody's heard of and this skincare line that has no active ingredients in it, but you just need to pass that off onto your audience and you'll make $1 million and get 1 million followers like me. Bitch, no. No, thank you. I was stupefied. I was awestruck sitting there going, oh my God, I got bamboozled. I drove an hour out here for a scam. And yep, the whole thing was just a pyramid scheme recruitment. So what it was basically a conglomerate of MLMs where it was, I can't say for sure if it was like the Arbonne or the Monat, whatever it was. I was not processing and I wasn't familiar with any of those at the time. I watch a lot of like MLM content now, so I'm more familiar with that. But at the time I was like, oh my God, like this is basically sorry, my thought left the station without me. Like the Mary Kays, you know, this was a very diabolical, calculated move to get a bunch of people who are trying to be influencers to basically hustle their products. And the products that they mentioned, those were the giveaways, but they weren't giveaways, they weren't free products by any means. They come around and start handing us one by one little sample packets of just the teeniest, tiniest, not even travel size, like literally the samples they give you in Sephora with like 2 dots of lotion. They're like, you'll try this lotion on your hands. Oh, smell the coconutty goodness. Isn't this the best lotion you've ever tried? Here's a sample of our shampoo and conditioner. You can't try it now, but trust me, it'll leave your hair feeling luscious and luxurious like you've never felt before. This is a hair piece, so I can't put conditioner on this, but I was like, I'm not putting that anywhere near my scalp, lady. So they just give us these dumb samples of like some skincare, some like body lotion, some shampoo, conditioner, maybe like a little makeup thing. And it was so ridiculous how like this is the giveaway, the free samples that I could get in the mail is the giveaway. Heck no. Now this pitch was interesting because the whole point of the MLM is less so about the actual product and more so about gaining a team under you, which is what I thought was the predatory part, is that like they got a bunch of people in the room because they just want us to join their team. They don't care about the products. It's a pyramid scheme. They need people for their team. And so of course her little TED Talk devolves into discussions of, and if you add people onto your team, you'll make more money. Your downline will make money for you. And then it becomes passive income. All the moms out there, all you have to do is just get a team and you don't even have to worry about selling products. And for you influencers, you just show how wonderful your life is, how beautiful your hair is, how lovely your makeup looks. You get people to join your team and it's passive income, baby. You get to be the influencer you always wanted to be and just show off your wealth and brag about your lifestyle. Oh, doesn't that just sound like a juicy, delicious dream? And I'm like, no, that's a pyramid scheme. Why am I here? This isn't influencers at all. So I was pissed, needless to say, and I saw it for what it was right away. I'm sure there were people around me that were like, you know, buying the pitch. You know, I've sat through those crazy timeshare presentations before where it's just like, yeah, I'm not going to buy a timeshare, but what else is in this for me? And am I going to get some free scuba diving tickets after this? Like, what else am I going to get? And I think that's a little bit of what my mentality was, is like, I drove all the way down here. I'm sitting through a stupid MLM pitch, but like, there's got to be something. Like, they got to give me something, right? Like, what am I doing here? And so her pitch ends, and, you know, they had like another speaker come from some other one of the MLM magnets that were there. And basically after the talks, they kind of release us to now go and visit all of the booths, get more information, and try some more product. Here's where this is an in hindsight story time, because I'm not not proud of the decisions that I made after this, but I feel like I can explain it in a way that justifies my mindset at the time. And my mindset at the time is, I felt bad. I felt bad. I wanted to leave so badly, but I thought that that would be impolite. I truly thought that that would be rude of me to leave now. I wanted nothing more than to just walk out of there and go, screw you guys, I'm going to Taco Bell and I'm driving home. This was a waste of my life. But I felt bad because as soon as it ended, it was almost like a liaison came up to me to guide me throughout the booths. Like it was almost like I was assigned somebody to come and hold my hand and walk me through all of these weird MLM products. And so I didn't have the backbone to say, no thanks, not interested. You guys, I would have bought a car at full price. In fact, I think I probably did because I don't want to deal with the haggling. I don't want to deal with the confrontation of negotiation. And that's very much what this felt like. It was such a high pressure situation that I was like, if I fawn and freeze, which again was my trauma response, if I just act polite, then that is my way to safety. That is what my brain is thinking, is just be polite, just fawn, put on a smile, and then you can politely excuse yourself at the appropriate time. And so that's what I tried doing. But you guys, don't be mad at me. I went to every booth and they sit there and they gave you mini pitches of like, hey, you should join our MLM for this reason. We're hair care brands. You have curly hair. It'd be perfect for you because that's already part of your brand. Here, give us your email and your phone number and your address. We'll send you all of the information. We will send you everything you need for your starter kit to entrepreneurial success. And I gave it to them. I did not put my real address, but I did put my real email address. One, because they already had it, that I was like, oh, what's the worst that could happen? But two, because I put my real phone number because they did the thing where they're like, all right, we'll text you right now. And so I was just like, oh no, they're gonna catch me in a fib. I cannot lie for my own safety. As if the consequences would be them texting me and I go, oh, I didn't get it. All right. Bye, this was a waste of my life. And so I went to every booth and I gave them my phone number and my email address and I politely listened to their spiel. I let them give me their whole entire pitch and I just sat there and I nodded my head and I tried to relate to them being like, oh, like, yeah, you know, I'm trying to be an influencer. I don't know if I'm meant for the sales world life, but then they'd spin it on you being like, it's not sales. You don't even really have to sell it. You just have to sell your lifestyle and get people on your team. And I'm like, no, you guys don't understand. I would literally rather paint an entire house with nail polish than do that. Please don't make me. And so finally, after a few hours, I did not need to pull out my tripod at all. I did not need any outfit changes, for there were no backgrounds for me to change into. I didn't even pull out my secondary bag because there was nothing to fill it with. I had little paper samples of lotion drops. I did not need an additional bag for anything. I was also thirsty and hungry. I remember they said they were gonna like feed us. They gave us like protein bars and orange juice. Like I could have snuck out to the Hotel Continental breakfast and gotten fuller from that, but I was just hungry. Maybe I'm hungry now. So I left with all of my original things untouched. But you know what I didn't leave with? My dignity. So the epilogue is I was bombarded, you guys, with emails and calls nonstop for the next 2 months. I got just constant communication from them, just trying to get me on their team, just trying to sell me that starter pack. And again, my mindset, I still weirdly felt so bad. I weirdly still could not even confront now these people behind a computer screen. And it's so interesting to look back on going like, wow, like I was so scared of everything, but they would call me and they would text me and I couldn't even block them. My strategy was just ignore them. I literally was too scared to even block people because I was worried about hurting their feelings. Now, mind you, this was 5 years ago. So the part that I'm talking about in terms of my OSDD, it was coming off the heels of COVID JC. So this wasn't LA JC yet. This was COVID JC. So COVID JC came right after Housewife JC, where I was coming out of a relationship after 8 years that lots of stuff happened there. I had just moved back in with my parents and then COVID happened, the world shuts down. And that was a scary time for everybody. I feel like that is a collective trauma the whole world had. And so then I move out to LA, I'm on my own and I'm trying to make my dreams happen. But being alone in a new city, not having an established friend group, and kind of getting your bearings of how do I be an adult for the first time, it was kind of scary. And for me, I was learning how to survive. This was at the very beginning of how do I keep myself safe? And from an OSDD perspective, everything is all about safety when it comes to my parts. My parts in my brain, basically, they all were creative during times of trauma where shutting down was the only way to stay safe. So shutting down, fawning, freezing, being a people pleaser, and making sure that people like me, that is completely a defense mechanism. It is a coping strategy to ensure that I am safe. And from an outside perspective, I could see how it would be silly of like, you were too scared to block a phone number. What are they gonna do? Track you down to your apartment and murder you? Yes, that's what my brain was thinking. Yes, that is how I protected myself, is if I could keep everybody happy, then no harm will come to me. But now in hindsight, I have so much empathy for that part, but I'm also like, I should have left as soon as I walked in and saw that I was at a weird hotel conference room. I should have left when there was a weird networking hour where nothing about the event was as the email described. I should have left during their TED Talk pitch where I knew right away that it was an MLM recruitment event. But again, I had these parts in my brain that I didn't understand. And those younger parts were getting so activated in the sense of, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want anybody to be mad at me, because if they're mad at me, then I get hurt. And if you've never been to therapy, this is how therapists describe it to you, where a lot of times in childhood, if you don't act a certain way to your mom or your dad, you'll die. And I remember this was a concept that I really had to wrap my brain around when I went to my treatment program, where my therapist would tell me like, yeah, you know, that comes from childhood, where if you didn't act a certain way around your mom or your dad, you'd die. And I'd be like, I wouldn't die. She goes, no, in your child brain, you die. If you don't act this way, you die. You lose your identity in the family, your family falls apart, everything dies. And it was such a hard concept to wrap my brain around, because I'm like, I'm not gonna die. She's like, no, that's how your brain works when you are a child. The problem is that because I have OSDD, those childlike mindsets got trapped and I never grew out of them. And when they would get activated, I didn't know how to turn it off. I would just go, this is the way that it is. I feel unsafe. I can't leave because I'll die. So that's the mindset that I was in. In hindsight, again, I would have blocked the number. I would have left as soon as I can. And I should have, in fact, caught the red flags from that email, because when I went back and looked, it was kind of like weird predatory language in the sense of become your own boss, be an entrepreneurial, Jesus Christ, be an entrepreneur just through social media. That it was a lot less of the language that I was used to compared to the other influencer events that I had gone to. So in hindsight, I could say that, oh my God, I should have left when I had the chance, and I should have blocked those numbers as soon as they came crawling back. And my advice to you guys is don't do MLMs. Don't do an MLM. The world is awful enough without pyramid schemes and trying to take advantage of your own social media following. Don't be that girl from high school who reaches out to old classmates trying to get money out of them, okay? Don't do it, you guys. It's embarrassing. But that's gonna be it for this In Hindsight story time. Let me know what you guys think of this new format. I know this is like a little bit of a silly story time, but it's fun to just kind of like rant with you guys. I need to work on like my therapy talk and explaining some of the bigger things better, but I hope it made sense. But I just want to get back to hanging out with you guys, ranting and going off script and off the cuff, because I'm having more fun doing that and enjoying hanging out with you guys. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment. Comments and likes, any engagement really help. Actually, subscribing would really help. I have a lot of people who watch my videos that aren't subscribed, and it helps. It helps me if you do just hit that little subscribe button. And that way you can hang out with us for future story times. But I thank you guys so much. You can follow me on social media. I have a talk show. I've been going live on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and I'm going to be updating my lives as well to make them a little bit cooler, I guess. I don't know. But I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Toodles! Where's my remote? Where's my remote? Oh, it's attached to my leg. Can you see it? It's stuck on me. It's on my leg. Also, I shaved for the first time in about 8 months. My legs, that is. I guess my mustache as well. And there's just chunks, just chunks of hair that like I missed. And it's diabolical, the length difference. Like you can tell, oh, did you just shave for the first time in 8 months? Yes, I did. But at least the smoothness grips onto my remote. So works out team.